Welcome back. As the temperature drops across Eastern Europe, the conflict in Ukraine enters a grueling winter phase. We're breaking down the complex dynamics of the winter offensive and the systematic attacks on energy infrastructure. It is not just a battle for territory anymore. It is a battle for survival against the elements. Today, we explain how the war has shifted from rapid maneuvers to a static, high-stakes attrition game under the snow. By the end of this minute, you will understand the tactical shifts and the human cost of this frozen conflict.
Military operations haven't stopped, but they have changed. The muddy Rasputitsa season has frozen over, allowing heavy armor to move more freely. Yet the intensity of broad offensives is tempered by the extreme cold. Russia has concentrated its efforts on localized breakthroughs, particularly around eastern hubs like Avdiivka and Bakhmut. Meanwhile, Ukraine has transitioned to an active defense strategy. They are fortifying positions while launching precision strikes on Russian supply lines. The goal for both sides is to exhaust the opponent's reserves before the spring thaw arrives.
Perhaps the most critical development is the systematic targeting of Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Since late last year, hundreds of missiles and Shahed drones have been launched at power plants and substations. This is a deliberate strategy to break the civilian will by cutting off electricity, water, and heating during the deadliest months. By forcing the population into darkness, the aim is to create a massive humanitarian crisis and pressure the government in Kiev. It is a calculated attempt to use the winter as a weapon of war.
The numbers are staggering. Millions of Ukrainians have faced rolling blackouts, sometimes lasting for days at a time. In cities like Kyiv and Kharkiv, temperatures often drop to 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Without power, central heating systems fail, leaving families in high-rise apartments to rely on wood stoves or portable generators.
But Ukraine is not just taking the hits. They have developed a sophisticated points of invincibility network. These are thousands of heated shelters where citizens can get warm, charge phones, and access the internet. Engineers have become masters of rapid repair, often fixing substations within hours of an attack. The resilience shown by the civilian population has largely neutralized the psychological impact Russia intended. International donors have also stepped up, providing thousands of high-capacity generators and specialized equipment to keep the lights on.
On the battlefield, the war has become an artillery duel. Both sides are burning through thousands of shells every day. The supply of 155mm shells from Western allies remains the lifeblood of Ukrainian defense. However, Russia has ramped up its own production and secured supplies from third parties. The winter cold affects the performance of both troops and equipment. Batteries drain faster, and maintenance becomes a nightmare in the mud and ice. Superior logistics and the ability to keep troops warm and fed are now just as important as firepower.
To counter the energy attacks, Western air defense systems have become crucial. Systems like the Patriot, IRIS-T, and NASAMS have achieved high interception rates, sometimes downing over 80% of incoming threats. These systems are strategically placed to protect major cities and critical hubs. However, the cost of interceptors is high, and the sheer volume of low-cost drones used by Russia aims to deplete these expensive stockpiles. Maintaining a shield over Ukraine is a primary focus of international military aid packages heading into the new year.
As we look ahead, the winter remains a period of strategic positioning. Neither side has achieved a decisive breakthrough, but the foundations for the next phase of the war are being laid now. Ukraine's ability to survive the winter with its energy grid intact will be a major victory in itself. As the ground eventually thaws, the focus will shift back to offensive maneuvers and territorial reclamation. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the winter offensive. Stay informed and stay tuned for our next update on the global stage.